Welcome all to another video. This time we're still talking about the Overground, but we're covering the South London line this time. Stay tuned. So the South London line is the southern portion of the inner orbital overground network, and the third one we're diving into today. The extent of the line actually ran a total of 8.5 miles, from London Bridge to London Victoria, although this has been altered over the years, extending to Clapham Junction and Surrey Quays. It was built in order to join three main lines together: the Brighton Main Line, the South West Main Line, and the South Eastern Main Line, heading down to Kent. It all started at Victoria, where the London, Chatham and Dover Railway built the Chatham Main Line, connecting Victoria to Dover via Medway in 1861. This forms part of the South London line, notably the section from Victoria to Brixton, with stops at Clapham Road, Wandsworth Road and Battersea Park Road, which is now closed today. A year later, the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway were authorised to build a route by the South London Railway Act of 1862. This act allowed them to weave through the suburbs of London between Battersea Park and London Bridge. Note, they also were operating the route between Victoria and Clapham Junction, so this also connected to Victoria. Anyway, this was open in two phases. The first was open in 1866 between London Bridge and Loughborough Park. This was later renamed to East Brixton, which closed in 1876. There are also stations at South Bermondsey, still here today, Old Kent Road, which is now closed, Peckham Queens Road, Peckham Rye, Denmark Hill and Loughborough Park, which is also closed. The remaining section of the line began opening a year later, connecting onwards to Victoria with stops at Clapham Road, Wandsworth Road and Battersea Park, which already existed on the Brighton Main Line. What was interesting about this act is that the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway had to build 4 tracks, so 2 sets of double lines, heading between Peckham Rye and Brixton, along with their own set of rails from Brixton all the way to Victoria. This meant that each railway company would get its own set of double tracks to operate their own trains, but each company were given a certain section to maintain. So the London, Chatham and Dover Railway had the section between Wandsworth Park and East Brixton, and the London, Brighton and South West Railway Company had the section between East Brixton and Peckham Rye. This also meant trains could now run between London Bridge and London Victoria. Also in 1864, the London, Chatham and Dover Railway had built its spur from its City branch line to East Brixton, heading up to Victoria. 4 years later in 1868, a junction was added at Peckham Rye to allow the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway trains to run from London Bridge to Sutton, and in 1872, the north to east spur was added by the London, Chatham and Dover Railway. And this was largely how it was for the next couple years, at least to the 1900s when electric railways were being introduced, and one of the early adopters was the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, particularly the section between London Bridge and London Victoria. And this was the way for many years. Even the most recent operator, Southern, used to operate trains from London Bridge to London Victoria, until 2012, when it was axed in favour of the London Overground extension to Clapham Junction. And in 2012 itself, the 1.6 mile connection was made from the East London line to join the South London line, and is used by London Overground trains today. This meant trains could actually operate directly from Highbury and Islington to Clapham Junction via the East London line and South London line. There is also a parliamentary service which runs to and from Battersea Park Station. Yes, the southern one. And it runs to Dowson Junction twice a day, Monday to Friday. One heading northbound at 6:33 in the morning, and the other heading southbound, arriving at 22:48. There is also a Sunday service, with one train running to Highbury and Islington at 7:26 in the morning. It's also shown on the Overground timetable map as a limited service, which I suppose it is. Some of you might also be shouting at the screen saying I miss Thameslink, and the issue is I can't actually find much information about it. I have a strong inclination to believe that it operated between Blackfriars and Catford in 1988 when it opened, but if anyone knows, feel free to correct me. So are there any proposals on this line? Well, there are a few actually. The first of which is a new station at New Bronsbury, and this has actually been approved by the government and TfL, so it is bound to happen at some point. However, the main issue, as you'd probably expect, is funding. The station will sit between Queen's Road, Peckham and Surrey Quays, so I guess we'll have to see when it actually gets constructed. There are also plans for a new service running from London Victoria to Bellingham, as well as a new high-level station at Loughborough Junction to connect with Thameslink and Southern. And that is the history and possibly the future of the South London Line. So quite a short one today guys, thanks for watching, stay safe and I'll see you next time.